So hi and welcome to the Data Explorers Market Update. I'm Will Duff-Gordon. So as they rise from the flames like a phoenix, the short sellers are indeed lifting themselves off the floor when you look at the fact that our ratio of longs to shorts is just kind of deviating from an all-time high in favour of shorts. So 12 times as much supply as there is demand to borrow, but that's just coming down off an all-time high, showing that shorts are kind of coming back a little bit. Plus you had the release of the public numbers last Friday of the US shorts, showing there was an increase between the end of January and the middle of February. So we thought we'd look at, well, where is this sentiment taking place? Those people who think that maybe the market rally that we've seen all year in the developed world is sort of unsustainable might think what's being picked off has been the area potentially due a bit of a correction and a fall. So we've looked at the GICS industry sectors. I've also sort of tried to subjectively find out what the directional shorting is in these sectors to sort of strip out misleading ones. For instance, autos quite often comes up as a very heavily shorted sector, but there's only 3 or 4 names in that sector. So it's a US story looking at the GICS Industry Groups. So the number one sector I think that has the most directional shorting of strength in depth is commercial services and supplies, that sort of unglamorous sector that keeps the world spinning in the background without making too much noise. Interestingly, there are 8 of the 11 companies there above the index average, so the index average short interest is 2.8% according to our data, and 8 of the 11 in commercial and professional services are over that average. Led by 2 with quite high short interest, Pitney Bowes and Robert Half. One is a recruitment company specialising in accountancy, temps and legal and risk staff, and the other is a sort of end-to-end mail servicing. So on face value, those 2 could be challenged in an environment where we're going to more and more email and electronic communication, and people maybe have a hiring freeze right now. So what's the second one? Well, the second one is retail. Now, it's falling because there were some very big short positions, but it remains quite a heavily shorted. And 4 stocks in this are over double-digit short interest, led by GameStop Group with a whopping 22% or something. GameStop sell video games and entertainment, so will they be the next Blockbuster? Will people buy everything? Will it all come down the cable or down the satellite wire or through their Xbox? That's what people seem to be predicting. But there are also other shorts in that sector, but they are coming down in things like Netflix, Sears and Tiffany's. Now you may be wondering why semiconductors and semiconductor equipment isn't in this list. Well, they would have been number 1, but if you take out 3 of the top 4 shorts in that sector for the fact that they've got convertible bonds, meaning there is short selling, but it's not because people think that there's a problem with the companies, and then you also take out First Solar, who I think is more of a play on alternative energy and subsidies than it is on semiconductors, you're left with actually quite low short interest in the semi sector, so we've taken them out. Anyway, returning to the top 3, the third of the top 3 is consumer durables and apparel. Now again, I've doctored this sector because the top 3 shorts are actually home builders, I would say, in this sector. I know it's very challenging coming up with a good sector classification, but even if you take out Pult and DR Horton, you still have quite heavy short interest sort of consistently in the sector, mainly in household appliance makers Whirlpool, and also in 2 mid-market apparel makers, Nike and VF Corp. And this kind of plays to a theme we showed in Asia, which is it's not the luxury companies that are predicted to do badly, but it's the sort of mid-market ones, as there is a bit of a spending freeze from the sort of the middle class, I suppose. So quite a difficult one to do a little film on. It's probably easier to read this at dataexplorers.com/news.